It's not often when people write articles about me, but when it does happen, it's pretty exciting. Quite recently, the Butler County Board of DD, they wrote an article on me, and I would like to walk through it with you because the last time an article was written about me was back when I worked at a pizza place, and it seemed pretty weird. The article was pretty wacky, kind of zany. This article though is more grounded and more realistic, a lot more practical, really. So let's get into what the article says and everything, and I'll talk about specific points about the article, just about my thoughts and everything about it. Just think of this as another article one-off. It's not often that this happens, but it's pretty exciting when it does. Alright, so it says here, local film enthusiasts accepted into Wright State's motion pictures program. So first thing, this headliner is marvelous because it is literally what you're getting through this article. It's not clickbait. It's not anything wild, wacky, zany. It is to the point, and that is what I enjoy about this article. Is it's to the point. It gets all the points across, and whoever written it, the person that interviewed me and written it, did a very good job in my opinion. So let's read through some of the article here. Celebrating those with developmental disabilities is something that Butler County Board of DD holds close to their heart. That's why when Butler County Board of DD, Rachel heard that Tony began working with in 2018 made into Wright State Motion Pictures program. It was a moment that must be celebrated. And yes, it has to be celebrated. We are nearing, if I look at the calendar here, oh my god, I can't even imagine how much time we have left. 2.5 weeks is what we have left. 2.5 weeks we have left until I go to college. This is wild. This is, I can't believe it's actually happening. It's something that, like, I haven't processed fully, and it's something I'm still getting used to, of, like, the idea of going back to school. It is wild. I got some, like, totes here to fill up the next coming weeks so I can pack up and go. I'm taking all of my equipment that I can. It's wild. I don't know if everything's gonna fit in my dorm. My dorm is pretty small, but we're gonna make it work one way or another. If the green screen has to go, it'll go. It's fine. Let's go to the next paragraph here. Here's a picture of me at Creativa. We have 2 episodes of Creativa on the channel right now. One for May and one for June. We didn't have a July Creativa because I couldn't attend that one. I was actually going to a family's party, family member's party, but there will be a August Creativa, and I'm going to upload it to the YouTube channel as well. I forget who's the leading act, but that's a little bit of Creativa stuff for you guys. But here's a picture of me at Creativa explaining the video. Let's go into this quote. Tony's an amazing young adult who's learning to navigate and pave his path in life, Shepard said. When I first met Tony in 2018 or 2019, we would meet each year to discuss his goals for his next band. He was shy and quiet, but after a year, one answer never changed. He always wanted to talk about working with the arts, whether visual or vocals, especially through his YouTube channel. He has worked very hard to get to where he is, and I can't wait to see how he progresses in learning and fine-tuning his craft. After working and to become more knowledgeable and experienced filmmaking, Edwards was accepted into Wright State's motion picture program, where he pursued a bachelor's degree in film and cinema studies. Although Edwards feels comfortable being on camera for his YouTube channel and performing at Creativa's open mic night now, he has overcome severe social anxiety and several other obstacles to reach his goals. Here's an episode of What the Fuck Marine, another episode of What the Fuck Marine, showing up at Creativa. And I want to talk about some of the things I've overcome in the past. One thing that I don't often talk about is me suffering with ADHD. I never have really talked about with me suffering ADHD. And with ADHD came ADHD medicine, and with that was the whole issue with my obsessive behavior that I always struggled with early on in my life. If you look back in the previous update videos and the updates playlist, you would have to do some digging to find that playlist. If you go back there and scroll a bit, you'll find videos titled like Obsession or I don't know what to do or stuff like that, where I'm struggling with obsession and other things with it, uh, depression and all that. It's really one of those things I had to overcome with sheer will and not only by myself but with help as well. It was one of those things that I can now look back on the past self of myself and say that is a whole different Tony. That is a whole different Tony, like it's a whole separate character. Like, that's why I developed characters like Onyx in What the Fuck Marine, and, you know, Marineman's critical, Chad's just zany and funny, and Tony's logical. You know, characters like that in What the Fuck Marine really give all sides of me, and they personified those parts of me. They're manifested. It wasn't easy overcoming ADHD, non-focusing, like, on stuff. It was hard. Like, once I got off the medicine, it was like I had to learn how to function again, I guess. It was really difficult. One thing I really struggled with is staying at one job for a while. I would work at a job for like a year span and then quit. Right now the job I have at Main Event has I stayed there for at least about a year and then some. The only reason I am quitting is because I am going to college, and actually tomorrow, as of when I'm recording this, is my final day of work at Main Event, which is wild. I didn't think I would say that this soon because the job, although it wasn't enjoyable, but working with who I had to work with was wonderful. Everyone there on the staff is just wonderful people, and I actually feel like we are a team and we work together fine. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Let's go back to the article. Growing up, I always wanted to tell stories, and the genesis of that is really at a young age I was exposed to video games. The video game Halo in particular told this expensive sci-fi story. I explained, and I originally wanted to be a game designer, but as I grew older and with the birth of YouTube technology and dabbling into coding, my passion shifted a bit. The core stayed the same, which was to tell a story. Around this time last year, I was watching a podcast from Cinemassacre. Cinemassacre is the home of the Angry Video Game Nerd, which I heavily got inspired for my show. They were talking about student projects and student films from college. Up till that point, I didn't know you could go to school for movie and filmmaking. All this time, I thought you had to get lucky and get a good hand on this crazy card game called life. I struggled with a lot of mental issues in high school. I'm so nervous about going back to school, but this is what I want to do. That is something that has never changed. Is to tell a story. Us humans thrive on storytelling, whether it's in books, TV shows, movies, documentaries. Like, it is wild that we have such crave for storytelling as humans. And you don't think about it as you consume as these things or these sources of media. You don't really acknowledge that you're consuming all these different types of stories until you're like, wow, I just binge watched all 4 seasons of Stranger Things and I can't get enough. Or you go and you watch a Marvel movie and you just absolutely blown away at the fictional story that's going on. We look at these superheroes and these DC, Marvel, The Boys, Umbrella Academy as gods. We look at them as God. It's one of those things that I don't think humans can ever get enough of. It's wild that we are this type of way. With Cinemassacre has been a huge part of my life. With Cinemassacre, I think I found the channel right after or around the same time when I found Uber Haxanova's channel. And around that time, I think James was working on Schwarzenegger games for AVGN. And I went back through his catalog for AVGN and I was absolutely hooked. I think I did catch a couple episodes earlier in YouTube's lifespan, but I didn't really follow James or Cinemassacre at that point until middle school and until all that stuff started happening. It was actually wild that, you know, I found it and I became hooked. It was life changing. I would say if it wasn't for Cinemassacre, my passion for filmmaking wouldn't be where it is. It would, like, I would probably still wanting to be just a normal Let's Player. At this point, a normal streamer. Yes, although I do want to stream, I do want to Let's Play videos, and, you know, I do want to do the whole YouTube thing. I also want to make a movie so fucking bad. You know, one I'm working on the script for Kingdom Hearts Life is Strange, where the main protagonist finds a way to reverse time and has the ability to use the Keyblade that has been bequeathed from the Master of Masters, and madness ensues. So, and we talked about that a couple times here on the channel. I think you can find it in student projects and on the main page of the YouTube channel. In 2012, when Edwards was 15, decided to take a leap of faith and start his YouTube channel, Marineman. And the crazy thing about this, and I think this is the big point, is that this link works. This link works. Here. Alright, and if you haven't noticed, our subscriber count has went up about 10 within the past week, I think. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe. Alright, it went up by 4 within the past month. Which is wild. Because that's a lot more growth than I've ever seen in a while. If we take a deep dive at the analytics, and I always wanted to take a deep dive at my analytics, but I'm not sure if that's allowed. I think there's like something against the term of services about doing that. That's wild. And I think this article is like what's getting all the subscriber count up. Because 226, this is the most amount of subscribers I've had. Ever. And to think that it's growing, I come back. And look, this is from 22nd, 28th. This isn't, it may seem like a long time, but it really, when I sit down and I look at the YouTube channel and I see like a gain a subscriber, I'm like, wow, that's wild. I gained an actual subscriber. And I'm sure if like somehow my channel takes off, somehow, I don't know how, I'm just going to be blown away, and I probably won't know how to deal with it. But if it ever becomes to the point where I get like 1,000, you know, 100,000, God forbid, 1,000,000, and I actually have like people watching What the Fuck Marine, the Let's Plays, it'd be different. People right now aren't watching me. Despite, you know, the 4 views, the 4 views, the 3 views, the 4 views, the 12 here, and the 21 here. People aren't watching me all that much. You would have to dig in the YouTube algorithm to find my channel. Unless you have a link. And I'm more adamant about sharing my channel. I'm more adamant about putting it out there now. Because I'm not... Before it was like this thing I just did, and it was cringy at times, but like now it's like I mean this now. Like, this is a big deal to me. Anyways, let's continue. My content started as Let's Plays, but then I made music starting in 2014, and then a series called What the Fuck Marine, where I review games and music. The YouTube channel is really important to me, Edwards explained. I try to upload every day and make big monthly projects for What the Fuck Marine. Though most of the channel is Let's Plays or one-off videos, the narrative piece of my work, which is What the Fuck Marine, is very important to me. Edwards said that his friends are very supportive and on occasion help him with episodes on his channel. My friends rarely get involved to work on the show. but the times they do, it's always a classic episode. I recently started streaming on Twitch, which is a live streaming platform for gaming. I did this mostly to get the channel name out there. This year will mark Edward's 10-year anniversary for his YouTube channel. Currently, Edwards has had 2 people subscribe to his channel, and he says he hopes to gain a larger audience like similar channels have done over the years. Channels such as Markiplier has about 10 million plus subscribers at this point. I don't even think he has 10 million. I think he has a lot more. He has 33. So I was way off. I was off by hella. But channels such as Markiplier has about 10 million plus subscribers at this point, which is disheartening, but I never let it deter from me continuing my passion to make content. Once Edwards became comfortable being in front of the camera, he began to fine-tune his film and music skills. He felt ready to expand. In 2019, Edwards joined Creativa Convergence, Community's open mic nights, which are held on the second Saturday every month at location. I'm going to say it out loud, but you can see it if you're nearby and you want to go see it. Just don't harass us, for the love of God. At 7:30 p.m. I was scared and nervous when I went to Creativa and performed my music for the first time, but soon enough I found myself not wanting to get off stage. Edward said, recently I've been showing off what the fuck Marine instead of doing music. I also stream it to my Twitch, which is Marineman _ TTV. He didn't link this, but you could probably find the channel pretty easily if you type that in. It's always a good time. We have lots of fun. So, and that's me at Creativa again. So, yeah. And I think Randy has put a quote here. So let's read the rest of this article and I'll go through all my thoughts in the most collective manner that I can. New Path Child and Family Solutions case manager Randy Bell has worked with Edwards for years, witnessing his personal growth firsthand. Bell says he not only has Edwards developed critical mood management skills and self-awareness, he has also honed in on his artistry. I had the pleasure working with Tony for a number of years. As his case manager, I've witnessed his personal growth a great deal. Tony is creative across multiple genres. I personally have seen him overcome social anxiety to be able to perform live on stage, his music and YouTube videos. Tony started off very leery of performance, but over a period of the past year plus, have become very comfortable there. Proficiency and aptitude for his craft has grown as a result of this. Bell added that Edwards is greatly contributing to the creative community and he couldn't be prouder of his accomplishments. Tony has established a nourishment and important relationships with his fellow artists. I'm thrilled that he will be entering Wright State University's film school and I have complete confidence in his ability to be successful there. Congratulations, Tony, on reaching your highest goals. We know you have worked so hard to make your passion a reality. Good luck at Wright State. We'll be cheering you on. An article that actually almost brought a tear to my eye just now, reading that, and actually realizing I have so many people rooting for me, whether I don't see it physically or not. It's kind of wild. So if you put 226 people in a room, and they're all wanting you to perform or wanting you to do something, it's scary. It's really scary. And putting yourself out there isn't always the easiest thing. And I feel like if you want to do it, just do it. You know, I had so much personal issues growing up and having to deal with them. Obsession, depression, anxiety. I had so much stuff going on. And the main thing that I try to focus on is my craft. It's not always the most polished, it might be janky at times, but I still do it, and I enjoy it. It's not always for other people. For example, like, the Slenderman movie, we remember that disaster, right? There has to be people that like that movie, right? There has to, somewhere. I mean, there's freaking, like, 8 billion people on this planet. Someone has to like the Slender movie. Maybe they just wanted to tell a zany, weird story with Slenderman, like some sort of fan fiction, and it got turned into a film. We just didn't like it. That's fine. That's valid. That's absolutely valid. They still made something. We still bought tickets to go see it. So yeah, they got what they wanted. And they were able to show off a movie no matter if people liked it or not. People still went to go see it, and that's all that matters. If people click on my videos, and whether they leave a like or dislike, my gratitude is the same. You took the time to see it. You took the time. It's not always if they like it or not. You're just trying to tell your story, and criticism is just one thing of putting your art out there. Now with the article, there's a lot of things that it goes through, like creativa. It hints at like my mental issues a little bit. And it does. One thing I thought it was really weird that I wasn't asked about. Like, this is a developmental disabilities article. And my thing is, it didn't really ask about having me explain my autism or my past mental issues, which I don't know if that's their place to ask. I just was expecting it, when I got interviewed for this article. I was expecting it, but they were more honed in on the idea of me getting into the film project, or the motion pictures program, which is fine. I just thought like it was something I was going to be asked about, and I wouldn't even know how to answer that if that was even the case. Like, how do you cope with struggling with autism? I just do it. Like, I don't feel like I have a illness or, diagnoses really. I'm very high functioning, so that might be an issue. So I may not feel it all the time. I may talk funny, or I might over explain how to do something because I think, if I don't get it, I have to explain it so you can get it or something. I don't know. It's something I haven't really talked about. And I know there's like a whole subgenre on YouTube about autism. And I dabbled into that some a bit. Like Indiani, we talked about him on a What the Fuck Marine episode. And Autism Speaks and stuff like that. There's a whole autism thing going on YouTube that isn't well explored yet. And that hasn't like popped off because it's very niche. How I don't even know how rare autism is, and since it is a spectrum, how would you calculate the rarity of a disease that's on a spectrum? I don't know. What I do know is that me going forward into Right State and going into motion pictures and all of this, it's going to be challenging. It's going to be so challenging between doing academics and then the film and then the YouTube channel and the streaming. I know one thing for sure is that my schoolwork has to come first. That's what has to happen. My schoolwork has to come first. If I had to drop everything, and I said this several times, if I had to drop everything on my YouTube channel except for one thing, it would be What the Fuck Marine. I would still try to do What the Fuck Marine, even though it's the biggest thing to do. If I had to drop music, if I had to drop Let's Plays, if I had to drop streaming, I would still do What the Fuck Marine. The best to my ability. And lately, I've been running out of things to review for What the Fuck Marine. It's just, as things come out, I think what's interesting, what's not a completely over big project. Like, Life is Strange was huge. It was Kingdom Hearts huge. It wasn't a two-parter huge, but it was pretty much Kingdom Hearts Part 1 huge. But I still did it. I still enjoyed it. I still talked about the mechanics. I still talked about the story and my gripes about the story and the mechanics. That's the review. That's What the Fuck Marine. That's what it is. I really honed in on what I wanted to do. And it is filmmaking. If I can tell a story about what happened in high school, I would. But I'm mostly focused on what's happening after and how I coped with it and how I moved on from it. That's the story I want to tell. And instead of like going into the dark pits of serious topics when I was in high school. Like, I wasn't the most mentally healthy person in high school. Like, things got dark and they got really dim. Like, to the point where I wasn't seeing the light. And I don't want to venture into that in my movies. Like, even in my music, when I try to be like, okay, what happens if I succumb to my obsession? Whenever I try to write a song like that, it always turns into me overcoming it. No matter how much I try to be like, okay, this is the idea of the song. This is what's going on. It always turns into that. Every time. Overcoming it. Because I have. And I can't imagine me failing because I know I'm strong enough to do it. I've done it. I beat it. I'm like fucking Giga Chad in this bitch. I've done it. I know what to do. And I don't know, man. This just one thing I people do right now is shit on me. And they don't know the stuff that I went to get to the point where I am now. And I don't think people understand that I'm doing my best to better myself every day. I've said that for years. I'm bettering myself every day. Whether it's actively or inactively, I'm taking steps to better myself every day. I have friends that just say, fuck you, Tony, every 5 seconds. It's annoying. And it's really a damper, like, bro, like, I know you don't feel this way. Why are you saying it? Because I don't have to take that shit. It's stuff like that. Like, I've always been a punching bag to some degree. And I know I'm not worth being a punching bag. I am worth more than being a punching bag. I am valid, I am rare, I am me. You know, I don't think of myself some type of god or anything. I don't think I can crush villages beneath my feet as I walk across the street. But I still think that I'm not worthless. That's the point. I don't think anyone is worthless in this life. Everyone has some worth, even if they've done some terrible things in their lives. You know, there's still some worth in somebody, you know. Now, you can argue even with the worst criminals and stuff, they're worthless, and we can talk about that another day. We talked about certain people like that on this channel. Anyways, I'm babbling on too much. The main point is that this article is badass, and I really enjoyed reading it, and I've heard people come up to me and said, I read that article like 5 times, and it's really inspired me. And, you know, it's wild to think that I've inspired someone, you know, with someone so small as me. You know, a channel that's only 226 subscribers as I'm recording this. Someone so small as, you know. But I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll see Marine Spartans in the next mission. Thank you for writing this article. Thank you for taking the time to listen. I've rambled on long enough. And I think I'm gonna go to bed and probably edit this tomorrow at some point. Alright, I'll see you Marines Sports in the next mission. Freeman out. Bye bye.